it's real talk. It's real talking, it's real talk. It's real talking, real talk. It's real talking, real talk, yeah.
Check it out, you know, in tune.
My daddy made this beat.
Yo, check it out, you know, in tune to the dynamic duo. Reese and Ira, on the corner, real talk corner.
Real Entertainment Network.
Ira and Reese. The talk is still real. We still on the corner. We gonna touch on some topics.
SKN, we got topics. Let's have a discussion. The people got questions. The people want answers. Yeah, we got topics. Let's have a discussion. The people got questions. The people want answers. Yeah, it's real talking. It's real talk. It's real talking. It's real talk. It's real talking. Real talk. It's real talking. Real talk. Yeah.
We live. Yeah. Reese.
Yo,
Younger man.
by feeling good too, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, man, feeling good too.
You looking energized.
How you mean? How you mean?
Yeah, of course, we took a break off last week. We usually take a break at like around that time of year because you don't know. Blessed belated Earth Strong, brethren.
Yeah, man, same to you. You know we go. You know when you come to that time of the year, I don't do nothing at all whatsoever. You come from morning till night, you know.
Yeah, but we still have to link up, you and I.
Yes. But you know, even though we took some time off to celebrate and enjoy ourselves, you know, we still have a duty to the people, right? And
Yeah,
the people decide to come here every Monday night to listen to us, so it's only fair that we come back and be here with them as well,
for sure, for
you
sure,
know.
for sure.
And one of the last shows we had, we'd have been speaking about inter-primary,
Hmm.
the mini Olympics as we call it,
Yeah,
and the guest we had, Mr. Eddie, said that after the Olympics, the mini Olympics, he was going to be back, and he's a man of his word. So
definitely.
he's going to be here with us tonight, and we're going to go through some of these things about the mini Olympics. The good, the bad, the ugly, the things you like, the things I like, the things I didn't like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course, not one controversial race. Um,
Huh?
the results of that one controversial race that had everybody up in arms.
Oh yeah,
We
yeah,
got to
yeah,
talk about it.
yeah. There's more. So
It's
we
only fair that we talk.
yeah. Let's just bring him in. Let's bring him in.
Come on, bring it in.
Bring in Eddie. Eddie, what's up? Wait, Eddie. My apologies. You are still not. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, guys. Good night, man. Good night. You know, belated out strong. I mean, you guys looking good. I
Appreciate
mean,
that.
Yes,
feel like you
man.
guys were partying and so on. But nothing wrong with partying. You know what I mean? It's the time of year. I tell people, you know, once you make birthday, it's for you to celebrate because another year moving forward.
Yeah.
You know, they are for Trisco and 10. You know, and I'm wishing everybody that they can get that Trisco and 10.
Oh,
You know,
Yes,
but like
man.
I said last time I was here, is that you know, it's inter primary and I'll be back. You know, still not got everything that I wanted, but I'm here and I can discuss one or two things, you know, based on the questions that being asked at me or being thrown at me, you know. So I will just kind of work with that in that form.
all right. Well, I can start out and congratulate Charlestown Primary for doing their thing, winning the meet, and staying out of the controversy this year, you know? Because we all know who I represent. And that is all I wanted to say in the beginning. But, of course, we have to get into what's going on with the results? Um, why are we seeing these sort of issues after the race, after the meet? You know, how hard is it to tabulate some points? Is the point system really not appropriate for this meet? And these kind of conversations as well. Of course, there are some races, one race in particular that people are up in arms and thinking the decision was incorrect. But, you know, we can get into that. Eddie, I'm just gonna let you tell
Yes, sir.
us what's your thoughts on the entire meet as it came off from the beginning to the end.
Well, from the word get go, the meet started out very well. Yeah, they started out with the 300 meters for Ketutu girls, and I must say that you can put a child in that race from kindergarten, grade one or grade two.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so you can put a child in that race, because it's from Ketutu, which is the 300 meters. So there were some good people in that race, and I must call their names. Calvin Wallace, his daughter was in that race. Rohan Isles, his daughter was in that race.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another child from Ivor Walters, who was in that race. So, the one from Ivor Walters, she won that race. But I was looking for a more like, a neck and neck with each three of them, with all three of them coming down. But somewhere along the line, as I mentioned to you guys, is who wanted more.
Mm-hmm.
So that race went down with the first race of the day. With the Ivor Walters child winning that race.
Okay.
But there were some other races there, that was very good. The individual children, like I must single out this one again, Kimani Newton. That is Calvin nephew,
Yeah.
Shamaya's son.
Yeah.
Yes, he broke the 800-meter record that was set years ago by a guy named Tajay Liebert.
Okay.
Tajay Liebert had it at 227, 227, 26, something like that, and he won a 226 point something.
Wow.
But if you really got to look at the race, he being pushed by his other fellow, athlete, companion
That
from
is
Charleston Primary.
that is true.
Sadat.
Yeah,
Sadat.
yeah. So when you're in those kind of situations, you got to push yourself.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
the gentleman he really pushed himself on that day. He won all his kudos to him. You know what I'm saying? And like I tell you guys, man, I am not in there as such, but I'm gonna big up all the athletes. And I want to say congratulations to all the teams who
Yeah.
participated. In spite of your position, I still congratulate you all because the coaches them work hard, the children them work hard. So there was a lot of work went into it. So everybody, is just waiting for the results to see, who is the clear winner, who is second, who is third, in the A division, and fourth, and then to see who is the winner in the B division and who came second, but it doesn't matter for me. Whoever wins, whoever plays second, I congratulate everybody.
Mm.
So I want to put that on the record. I congratulate everybody in spite of your position. It doesn't matter what.
Yeah. I would think everyone gave it their best. You know, I watched the races, I enjoyed the races. The athletes went out there and they gave their best. So congratulations to all the athletes and to the schools and the youngsters. So I'm with you on that. Definitely with you on that.
Of
You know,
course, of
so
course.
well, before the meet, Reese and we spoke about the time of the meet. Um, and I guess one of the things that we saw, and I remember Reese calling me, and Reese was like, yo, this meet way behind, And I'm thinking, oh, wow, the live feed that we're watching is way behind and results out there. But it was actually that the meet had started late, gotten into groove late. And of course, we had all these long intermissions, and I
Well,
know,
no, I wouldn't say that the meet started late.
yeah,
Well,
What I saw initially was that between the first set of races, which would have been the 300, the 400, the 1200, and even going into I think you had the little kids doing like the 60 meters, if I'm correct.
the 60,
The
the 60
the races
meters.
were moving along as quickly. You could see that after the intermission, where it was coming closer to time of sunset, and they started rushing the races. And I kind of felt if they started doing that from the beginning, we would not have run that late. So that is what I was looking at.
Yeah, because yeah, the meet started running smoothly, and it formed, you know, after a while, after you had to leave and go to a station to sort things out. So that was the delay, that we had. But other than that, everything else went smoothly, and I must big up, all the committee members, even the judges and the timers, them who was on the stand doing their thing. Without them, the meet with, I mean, at least we'd have to wait for one or two people to come and help, but you really need a person to an athlete to judge or to time. So we kind of try and work with all those officials. We big them up. We big them up to the track stewards and also for them being like doing what they're supposed to do. One of the things that a lot of people complain about is the Red Cross, but running a race, the Red Cross know what they're supposed to do. But in terms of coming to the finishing line, where children are running down and they're also falling down, by the finish line, that is something I don't really like. But then, because these children run their heart out, you just cannot run over and pick up a child after the child fell down because the child come first or second. Otherwise, if you go over and you pick up that child, you're going to interfere with the photo finish. So the photo finish is showing you as an athlete. It's showing you as an athlete, instead of the actual athlete,
Yeah,
running and coming in. So
I agree.
we had a few of that, and
okay.
the officials them get licks for that. But there's nothing we could have done until the last person, crossed the finishing line. So the photo finish can pick up, all the 9 athletes that was there, and then move, just move right into what they're supposed to do.
So,
But but for me is like I don't, like I said, I don't like to see children run, and come to the finishing line and fall down. It is not a good thing. It's not a good thing for me because you already run whole 400 meters or maybe 1200 meters. Doesn't matter what the race
Yeah,
is. So your duty now is to just stand tall, put your hands on your hip, inhale and exhale, and just take your time and walk because you disturb your legs and you disturb your heartbeat because your heartbeat will be racing real fast
yeah.
and your legs are feeling real tired, and these knees here, that carry the 90% of your body weight. I mean, it is not an easy thing. So sometimes children come in and put their hands on their knees and so on, and they're just making it worse for themselves instead of getting the natural air to inhale and exhale.
But Eddie, they're not tired, I don't know.
Boy, me know that.
Like after the race, I could remember the talk was, yeah, walk around. When you finish, no, walk around. Don't sit down. Get up. Walk around, walk
Walk it
around,
off, walk it off,
walk it
walk it
off.
off.
Yeah, and that's something that
Me,
I
me
fight
tell you,
with.
right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, I mean, I never run into primary, but high school sports and so on, because inter primary wasn't around in our time. But then, when I done run a 400 meters, which is the first race of the day for me, is that I go back to my camp. When I go back to my camp, as soon as my heart beat back to normal, I lay down till the next race because I am tired. I am tired,
Yeah.
but waiting for my next race. So the coach would call me, that used to be like Lester Blackhead would call me and say, your next race in 10 minutes. So 10 minutes give me enough time to warm up and, and get ready again.
Yeah.
So I just kind of work with it that way.
Yeah. Well, so interesting that the Red Cross would run across when the race ain't finished. Wouldn't that also endanger other athletes coming up to the line if they become like a obstruction?
Yes, that is so true. That is so true. And, that some people, think that parents in general, maybe coaches, they think that, once the child fell down, I mean, yes, we cannot feel for the child. We don't know what's wrong with the child.
Yeah.
But if you got to go through the laws and so on, is that Red Cross should be stationed, around the field, for certain reasons, but they were basically at the finishing line because we tend to look at these children as young people,
Yeah.
and they can make it around,
Yeah.
which we don't know the circumstances with their body. So that is something that we will try and put in place, that have them stationed all around the field so that a Red Cross can get to you just like that. So if you fall down over by the 200-meter area across there, the 200 start,
Yeah.
a Red Cross should be in that area to get you between there, until.
Understand.
So these are the things that we're trying to work on.
I remember back in the day, especially back when we used to be in the park. You used to see Red Cross running across and grabbing people and holding people as soon as the class is finishing, and I never agreed with that. So, I think now letting the race complete and then having them come and assist whoever needs assistance is what needs to happen. So I don't like to see people falling. Don't get me wrong, but I understand it.
I agree with you too.
Yeah.
I understand it.
I had no idea that they would have interfered with the photo finish. So with that said, I don't know if you're privy to tell us some of this stuff, but the photo finishes, did we see like any decision that the Red Cross may have interfered with? Because
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Nothing,
All right. Just making sure.
A quick question, Eddie, about this photo finish.
Yeah.
We had this race, of course, that everyone has seen. This really, I think it was a female relay. I think it might have been the senior girls female relay, where the Charleston and Gingerland both battling to cross the finish line at the same time, and there's an image that comes out. Is that the photo finish, or is the photo finish still a different image? Was that just the
The
live
photo
feed
finish
image?
we send a different image. What you're looking at is the camera.
Okay.
The camera that was
Okay.
placed here. So the camera was placed in a different angle,
Gotcha.
so you can really see, to the viewers, they always think that is the see right there, yes, that the girl from Gingerland came first, but no, the Charleston already over. It was ready. The Charleston, was already over.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look, like you said, you look at the torso and you look at the white pole in the far left corner.
On the far end, yes.
Yeah, you could see she already over. what you're seeing with the young lady in purple is an illusion, as if she is. But my question is, where is her foot going to land when she comes down in that step? Because she's in mid step right now. If you look at the back feet
Because
of
the
both
back foot is in
athletes,
the air.
yeah. If you look at the back feet of
And,
both athletes, you would see. Go ahead.
yeah, and you will see where the front foot. Well, let me say that would have been our left foot for the purple is basically, you know, on the line. But then if you look at the orange already lean over.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at it closely, the orange already lean over. You know, even before the purple foot, you know, take the next step.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you know, I can talk about the production team.
Well, you was a part of the production team at
No, no,
one
no,
time.
no. I never worked with NTV, but I can talk about the
Oh, you never.
production team.
Okay.
Shout out to NTV. NTV, they brought the live feed for us in conjunction with
Okay.
the IT department, who sets up a lot of the internet stuff as well. So shout out to them. But you know, I enjoyed it. But for this one particular race, I remember when the commentators were talking about it, they kept replaying it as if, like, no, we ain't believe. No, what you're saying is incorrect. You know what I mean? In terms of when the judges call the race. And I in my opinion, that was a bit irresponsible by the executive producer, because what that did was stir up controversy around the race. Like saying, no, you guys have a camera on the line, which is the photo finish, is on the line. And you call the race in one way. Let us replay this particular race 5 times, because what we're seeing don't match what you said, the judges. So judges, you got it wrong. And they replayed it and replayed it and replayed it. And of course, people might say I'm biased because I support Charleston Primary, but there were other races where I was like, okay, this school took the race as well. You know what I mean? Because in fairness, I was just looking for a fair meet. Now,
Yes.
this race, you know, that child now might feel like she was cheated. You know, because people
Well,
are
you
gonna
see,
meet her and say, "Oh, you won the race. They cheat you." Blah blah blah. You know.
we see that is what happened because you know, the people who doing the commentary, also the announcers, you know, who you got on the outside, you know, who is doing the commentary on the outside as well, you know, is like they will say it's Gingerland, it's Charlestown, it's Gingerland, it's Charlestown, and then you will hear them say, well, it looked like, you know,
Yeah.
Gingerland, it looked like Charlestown, you know, but it's not their call
Yeah.
because they're not the ones who is judging this thing officially.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? What they're saying in the booth and so on, you know, they try to hype up people, but sometimes the hype in the people get this, you know, just get all over the place. You know what I mean? Carried away.
Exactly. Yeah. I remember when the commentator said, no, I don't agree with the judges. They got it wrong. And I'm like, that is irresponsible commentating right there. Move it along.
Because you know, even with something like this, is that every child who run on that day, you know, they had their hip numbers. You know, which for which lane they're gonna run in. So you find, and then the gun have the sensor to the photo finish.
Okay.
So once the gun goes off, the photo finish is actually that that line, you know, gonna follow that individual all the way around, right? They're gonna follow. So the photo finish have that line that could actually tell you, hey, who is first and who is second. So even if the regular judges them have a problem in judging that race, that photo finish will be able to give them the accuracy in terms of who won the race.
And that is us having to have faith in technology and trust technology and figure out that we're trying to keep the meat as fair as possible. You know what I mean?
Yes,
But
yes, yes, yes.
I'm happy that you explained how the photo finish work. I actually was trying to get some photo finishes, pictures to display tonight, but unfortunately they're not available. So, you know, keep that moving. That's
Hey, one thing we're gonna say, because you already spoke about the fact that you're happy that Charleston won. But Eddie, I want to make sure that he realizes that the class one by 1 and 200 meters was won by Marquaz. You know,
Well,
we,
well. As I tell you, right, I'm backing all the children, them, but that would have been my personal question to him. You
I
know what I'm
watched I
saying?
watched the young man come around, and I was proud at the 200. I said, well, this is all I need to see. Yes, man.
but like I said, I mean, watching that same young guy, that same young man from Hardcross, watching another guy there from St. Thomas's, and the one from Charlestown. That's why I said to you is that the grade 6 boys are very healthy, and we will get
Yes.
a record from somewhere there, because I mean I watched those guys, and they
Yeah,
were
it
moving,
was a
you know.
real good race. Was a real good race. That was a real good
Yes.
class.
yeah.
That was a real good class. Um, one of the things we do, we like to talk about the good, so we got to talk about the bad and the ugly too. So I gonna talk about what I did not like.
We. Wait.
Eddie,
Hold on, eh?
Yeah.
Don't bring in no politics. Eddie is a civil servant. So don't bring in no
me look at
politics. I don't want to
Ewa,
mix Eddie with no politics.
Ewa, easy, man.
Just to make sure.
Easy, man.
Eddie, I gotta protect you. You're my boy, you check.
Yeah, yeah. You got to
But it's
take
for
it
me.
easy.
It's for
Ewa,
me.
you got to take it easy.
Ooh, you hold up the house.
Eddie, check this out. We had an intermission for an hour and a half, Eddie. An hour and a half.
But I mean, I realize, to be honest with you, I can't say if the intermission was an hour and a half, because I know that the committee who were dealing with refreshments. They was dealing with the refreshments, so they were giving out food and so on. But me personally, I just into the meat, so I wouldn't realize that. I would have to end up and watch the tape, all over again, and to see when the intermission, and to see how long it lasts.
But
Eddie,
that's how I realized I had to go back and watch it again.
Eddie, what goes on in the intermissions? What goes on during? Is it a time for the athletes to get a rest or what? What is it?
Yes, yeah, to get something to it's a time for them to get a rest and give the officials them something to eat,
Yeah.
and also for the recorders, while they're eating, they're going through the paperwork and so on, to make sure that things are in order, so that they don't have to waste much time. But most importantly, is for the athletes and to get a little rest while they do registration. The coaches them do registration for the upcoming, which is the 800 meters after the intermission.
Okay, take us through the registration process. Is it like they got
Yeah, the
tablets floating
registration.
around and they register, or they actually go with papers and say, "Here's it. We're still in the Stone Age."
What happens is that
Paper age?
each school have their registration paper, which they had deal with Virgo in terms of the registration there for the races, the child who's going to run this race and that race and so on. So you have call room 1 and you have call room 2.
Okay.
Mikey Mills, he has set up some speakers, around the athletes area, where they will make an announcement and say, time for registration for race so and so. So, and they will announce that a couple of times, and they will tell you, well, come to call room 1, in 10 minutes to register your child, the athlete. And then after you deal with that call room 1, then they send you to call room 2, where you will be placed in, well, under a tent, just to wait for your other peers, to run, and then they escort you to the station.
Okay.
So there wasn't no problem from the schools them as such, because if my collection served me right, my memory served me right, I think that the number of schools had coaches, who were dealing with registration. So their part went down good.
Okay. Okay. So I could understand, and we're sorry if you were trying to get in, but I could understand why one intermission would take as long, because there's a good amount of officials that need to be fed, and all of this stuff. So, Reese, where's your for you?
Plus, sometime you take that intermission just for people, the spectators, them to move out of their seat, and go and get refreshment as well too, so that the vendors them can make a money.
Yeah.
No, and Eddie, I understand that, right? You have things in place, you have things to do. I get that. And intermission, I don't feel there's something wrong with having an intermission. I think the length of the intermission was too long. But then for the live feed itself now, you end up with these things in the live feed for the intermission that had absolutely nothing to do with the primary. One of the things we did is we had they had what you call it, these athletes went to Carifta, and they were part of the live stream, the intermission live stream. But you could look at them and see that they didn't want to be a part of it. They want to go outside.
Well, you see the interview with them, I and I'm gonna speak for me. I wouldn't speak for all other people, but it's just that for you who out there in America, and the outer world, to see that that these children here been training hard from Nevis and went to Carifta in Jamaica. So with your support, to them would have been a good help. You would have been able to see them now, face to face, but not face to face, on the TV screen, knowing who their parents are, and so on.
Okay. Got it. Well, yeah, Reese, they had some athletes that went to Carifta, some that are doing athletics still at the secondary school level, and who have never ran Charlestown Primary, and they haven't gone to Carifta either. But I guess we're gonna have to pick up the tempo of the conversation. Just so that everybody who is tuned in, we are waiting for someone else. Hopefully they will be able to join us. Kervin Wallace. Mr. Kervin Wallace is supposed to join us a little later.
One question here for Eddie. Eddie, a question here came in from Sylvester Pemberton. They said that you guys had a meeting last Friday. Can you give us an overview of what's going on at this current time?
Well, I did not attend that meeting, so I don't have any information on that, because they did call a meeting, and when they said that the meeting is going to start at 2, my boy Sylvester Pemberton know that I was already engaged in certain activities. So I did not attend that meeting.
Yeah, and
all right.
If Kervin is able to join us, he will be able to speak on that meeting a little later. Just give us an idea what the discussion is like in there. So now, let me just get into the controversy now, right? Let's just pick up the pace and really hit the ground running. No pun intended. But the race is over. Charlestown Primary is victor, right? Then second place, we have a tie. St. Thomas's Primary and Jocelyn Liebert Primary is tied for second place. Then also the Elizabeth Primary School was dethroned as the Division B champions by the Mad Cross primary school. That is the night of the meet. That is the information that people went sleep with. Some people probably didn't sleep good. Of course, I already did. But some people probably didn't sleep good, knowing that there is going to be more to come after the meet. And I guess, that is the same meeting, right, that took place and the conversation has been ongoing. Now, before we get into the actual controversy of this school actually came second, or this school actually didn't win Division B, what are some of the problems that we're seeing? Are we seeing race athletes tagged incorrectly, the system giving us wrong information, and what are we seeing? Do you know?
Well, I'm gonna say is that over the years, being at St. Thomas's Primary School, I did my thing.
Yeah.
As a coach, I want to make sure that that my school, being looked after, treated well. The children them are happy. As the coach, I could go back and report to them. Let them know, well, hey, this is the situation. So what I used to do is that when the meet finish, even if you give me all sort of scores, I know there's some point in time, nobody's perfect. Something's going to go wrong somewhere. So before I leave the meet, I used to collect a copy of the meet. And then I used to go to NNC and I used to get a tape. Because when you at the meet, sometimes you just there, you don't see anything. So I used to just go and get the tape and I will stay home the next day. Well, not really stay home, but I will watch it like from about 10 o'clock in the morning till probably about 2.
Yeah.
Watch the entire thing and I will go through it and so on. And then I will call Lester Blackett and I will say that I realized where you had St. Thomas's place in 3rd place, you got another school there, St. Thomas's come first or something, but you don't have them there. And then he's gonna go through, the results and so on and said, oh yes, it's a mistake here and so on and so on. So my old paper would match up with the new paper. And then you find that schools would change, from there. So he will make the adjustment and so on. So I am just saying, this may probably happen, in the same case here, where you had a number of children from different schools, had different color clothing. Because there were some children there running in black. There was some children running in black from EPPS, and the children actually black and yellow. I think St. Thomas had a 1 or 2 children in all black. And I think some other school had some different colors, But what we are saying is that stick with the color that they gave you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And that could kind of eliminate one problem.
Okay.
So going forward, is that that can happen.
So you think moving forward the meet has to get more strict when it comes to you're supposed to wear orange, your suit's supposed to be yellow, wear yellow. You cannot run in this. You need to wear your team official color uniform.
Yes, because if you realize that at the finishing line is that the persons who are helping the judges, at the finishing line, the judge is supposed to see it clear. Hey, this is Ivor Walters, this is Gingerland, this is St. Thomas's, this is Charlestown. Whatever color, whatever school you are, they should be able to, instead of asking, they show them to say, find out what child, what school that child go to, because the child have on a different color. So like I said, that could be something that to put in place. and that could work out in the near future so that we could deal with that.
So I understand the visual aspect of it, right? But I want to go back to something that you said earlier, which is the photo finish. And the photo finish is actually tracking the number of the child. So the number isn't enough for you to know, well, this particular number is registered to this school. You have the information in front of you. You don't even know the child name. You don't have to know the child's name, but you see number 10 and you know number 10 is such and such school. Is it a case that the numbers coming off or something?
Good point, Ira. Sometimes when the children run, the number them fell off.
Okay.
But the photo finish is there, just like the judges them is there. So everything is one got to back up the next.
Okay.
Because let's suppose that the count go, you know what I mean? The photo finish shut down. So you got to rely on the judges. No, I'm just saying. Sometimes the generator take probably about 30 seconds to kick in.
Gotcha.
Or the case maybe what you need, you know. But then on the other hand again, there were some races that the judges wouldn't know that you know Charleston is in lane 5, you know, or lane 6 or 7.
They don't know that.
The photo finish. No, the judges wouldn't know that. The judges wouldn't know. The judges wouldn't know. So you find that the photo finish would have like the lane assignment. So they will know that Charleston is in lane 1.
Yeah.
St. Thomas is in lane 2. Ivor Waters is in lane 3. VOJ in lane 4. But then coming down, you do not have that number. The judges want to make sure is that you're in the lane that you're running.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Exactly. So they show them walk them back to the finish line for the same lane that they're running, and then they will write what is there, and then that paper will then go to the photo finisher, whoever is dealing with the photo finish, to make sure that this thing is in order.
Okay.
Gotcha. All right.
I seem like you got a lot of gates, so I don't understand. So the photo finish don't tabulate points for you guys. The photo finish, is it the judges?
The points are straightforward. No, the points are straightforward.
Okay.
6, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Because you give you place them from first to fifth. Okay. Yeah, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. And
if you break if you break the record, you get an extra 2 points. So that will take you to 8.
Yeah.
If you break the record, you get an extra 2 points.
So I know there's some.
And if you tie with the record, they give you 1.
Okay, Reese, I know you were gonna get into something, but I want to say something about the 6, 4, 3, 2, 1 that he just mentioned, real quick, and we can get into the other part when it comes to points and medals and whatever. But I was doing some reading, and I know the point system in itself has some controversy. I think it's the best system to use for a meet like this, to be honest. But when you give the child in first 6, the child in second 4, and the child in third 3. Saying second and third outweighs first.
No.
Add together. Add together. Outweighed first.
Yeah, but you have.
That is only if you're gonna. That is only if you're gonna run. That is only if you're gonna run an 800 or the 1200.
Exactly.
If both of you, if your same school, both of you from the same school come first and second, then you accumulate 10 points.
Yeah, but I would have a problem with I come in first in an 800 meter, and because you come second and third, the 2 schools now end up with more points, so they actually win the race. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, points win the race. You get what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, right? Because
yes, but on the other hand again, to Ira, you got your 2 children in the race too.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
You only go drop a point.
I agree with Eddie.
And that is where the points normally get heavy. You know, when it comes to those 800.
And then not only that, remember the last time you were here, we spoke about strategy. That again is a
Yeah,
strategy. That
exactly to
again,
win.
and you know what? What I saw too. I think would have been the senior girls. Charleston Primary had two
Oh,
females running. I think one of them was maybe of Indian descent or something of that nature. And in most of the, like the 1200 and the 800, she was far back. But then coming to the finishing line, she was like in fourth. So she was collecting points too. But that strategy, I agree with
Yeah,
it.
and you realize you realize. I mean, and
I understand the strategy.
I'm gonna always tip my hat to Charleston Primary School. Even when I was at St. Thomas's, even up to today, I'm gonna still tip my hat to Charleston Primary School because what? Even if they ain't coming first and second, you could tell yourself you're gonna get fourth and fifth.
Hold
So
on now.
Yeah,
they're collecting at least 3 points in between. That again is strategy.
Let me
yeah.
so Kervin Wallace has now joined us. I hope I ain't spelling it wrong, bro. Kervin, I ain't spelling it wrong, right? Let me make sure your name
No,
is
but is that
spelled
you,
right.
boy? Yes, are you? Is that
Oh yeah,
you?
Kervin, I can fix that. I have to fix
Hold
that.
on, give us some volume. Give us some volume. We can't hear.
I can't hear you, Kervin. I do not want to disrespect Kervin. Kervin is a national hero. Eh? Kervin, your mic might be muted. I actually see sound, but I'm not hearing him.
Let's see if you get something from Calvin. And it's good that Mr. Wallace would join us at this time.
Yeah,
We're speaking of points because one of the big controversy was about the point system and you know the possibility of making a transition and going to another system. And I want to know what everyone's take on it is. Eddie, I want to know how you feel about what everybody talking about this transitioning from points. Corbin is here. Corbin, Mr. Olympian. We got to ask you about it as well.
yeah, we having a little technical difficulties on Kervin's sound. Um, don't understand why. I
Wallace, you
think
could hear me?
let me see if it's a different link coming in
He
from
said good
him.
here. He said good here. Everybody,
He could hear us, but we can't.
see if you coming through.
But
See if you
we
coming
cannot
through
hear
AM.
you.
I
Yeah,
seeing
see if
some
you come through
levels
AM.
coming in from his mic. I see
Yeah,
some
make
levels
sure
coming in from
his
his mic.
make sure his mic coming through. Put him on both A and B and see if he comes through.
He is on A and B right now. Kervin, can you say something? Yeah,
Still no sound.
no sound from Kervin.
Still no sound.
Yeah, guess two. Maybe it's because I'm spelling him wrong. I can try to work out the sound thing with Kervin, right? On
Yeah.
this side. But let's continue the conversation on the points thing as I work out the guest thing on this side and
Yeah, we need to get Colin Sato. But
yeah, we have to.
um, one of the things we heard about Eddie was about transitioning from the regular point system to the medal system. Um, and they're saying to as we call it the mini Olympics, that we should have it set in that format. What are your thoughts on that? Going to the medal system.
Well, as I said to you guys the last time we're here, is that every child will love to see they're in the race and they can help their school, because it is your thing, that happened at home. But then normally when we gotta travel and go overseas for a meet, which you call the COT meet, that they deal with medals, and one of the reason, for that is that here in Nevis, you point system, but the medal system out there is the most medals win, the most gold actually, the most
Yeah.
gold.
Okay.
So,
Here's
for
where
example, check the Carifta meet.
okay, but
Check the
here's a big
Carifta meet.
discrepancy.
The Carifta meet is that Jamaica was able to walk with a contingent of about like over 40 something children. I mean, because they're home actually, they could have walked with any amount.
Mm.
Okay, but
Here in
listen
Nevis,
to
we
this.
just
Listen to this.
Okay.
If you
Yeah.
now remember what you just said, it's all about goal. Now, if you look at Charleston
Mm.
Primary for the relays, Charleston Primary dominated the relays. In the international meet, each gold medal counts. Charleston Primary automatically off of the 4x1s would have been 16 goals because they won all four. Grade 3 and 4,
I think
5
they
and
win
6,
a
both
couple.
guys and girls. You do the same
Yeah,
thing for
but
the
he had other sports.
4x4.
Yeah, yes. So that in itself. But then because of you don't have the medal meet, they just basically get 6 points. And
Eh,
one of my suggestion long time is that I am saying is that even for the relays, whether for the 4x1 or the 4x4, you know, those relays could have gone to 8 points instead of just being at the basic six because you're running an individual race. But then you have four people running that race now. So you can only step up the point. It could be 10, you know. That is just my suggestion. But instead of giving the basic six, running like
I
because
do
you're running
agree.
like a
I
200
do agree.
meters.
The relay should carry more weight. Corvin, you back with us?
I
Corvin
can't
is back,
hear
but
Corbin
still,
for
so.
nothing. I
Wow,
Still no
boy.
you
sound.
know what it is? He has something picking up as his mic.
See,
Something else is acting as his mic because there is something coming in from him. So I think he has to change his source at the bottom to be.
oh, okay. He said, hold on. He said, hold
Yeah.
on. But
But I don't talk
yeah.
about
So
the medal thing
Eddie,
too.
Eddie, I agree.
Yeah.
Eddie, I agree. I think that the relay should be worth more. But again, another person will say, well, if it really is worth more, then after the 4x1, Charleston rated and decide the entire meet.
No, hey, listen, not necessarily, because all these coaches went out there, with good intentions, that their child or who's running the children, is gonna come first. So they
Oh,
train the
definitely,
children to
definitely.
run so.
Oh, definitely.
But like I keep saying all the time, is who wanted more.
Definitely. I don't think any
Yeah.
coach went out there with any ill intent. These coaches came out. They were training their children to get ready for this meet. You could see
Yes.
the training that went into it. Um, even something as simple as coming down to the finish line when the race is close and bowing. I saw a lot of children actually bowing. Making sure that they secure that position. So the coaches, without a doubt, you have to give them their credit. They definitely did what they had to do.
Of course. Of course, man. Of course. Of course. And one of the things that you know I always said about Charleston, is that some people in Charlestown, yeah, who live in Charlestown, because I'm gonna use Iowa for an example. Not really one other thing. If I were living here, Iowa's son would have gone to Iowa Walters, but then
Mm.
Iowa definitely, Iowa would have backed his child. Whatever race his child is running for Iowa Walters, he backing his child. But then I will tell you straight up, he switched. Want the child not run? He's a Charleston fan.
That's the John Stockton. Boy, yeah, boy, yeah,
I
boy,
raise
yeah,
that
boy,
up.
yeah.
Michelle
I
gonna
raise
lose.
that up.
No. Michelle ain't gonna lose.
No, 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 talk shit with us now.
We to hear that, Miss.
Everybody talking shit with us now.
No, Michelle ain't gonna lose.
Everybody talking shit with us now.
Michelle will have to lose.
But Wallace, I need to hear you. You need to
I'm
get
trying
you.
to get him in. I'm trying to get him
You're
in.
trying to get you.
I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
Yeah.
what his problem is. I know he has the wrong device picking up his sound because there's levels coming in. But I want to talk about some things when it comes to the medal count, right?
Mm.
System. Nobody does heist no trophy, you know. They don't
As
heist a trophy in a Carifta.
You ain't got a trophy.
They don't heist no trophy in the Olympics.
Matter of fact,
They don't
do they
really
have
got
class?
champion.
They don't have class
Wait,
champions.
Reese. They don't really got champion. You know what they really have? They have, like Chauvin mentioned, information. So you could take that information. It's actually data. And you could take that data and translate that information however you want it. So when we look at the Olympics, for example, we go by the medal count, right? China can say we in the lead because we got the most medals. America can say we in the lead because we got the most gold. At the end of the meet, somebody want to say they dominated the Olympics. Not really win, they dominated, because at the end of the day, the Olympic committee is not gonna come and say, excuse me, you won because you had the most gold. Here's a trophy. You get what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we want a champion. We want somebody who is going to hoist a trophy up in the air. And then once they hoist the trophy up in the air, we need a fair system. And I don't think the medal system is good enough, because then when you go by the gold standard, you discount the bronze and the silver, right? And you discount
Corbin
the
look like
effort.
him back.
Corbin, let's see if you Corbin, I want to help you. I can come off screen for I can call Curvin on this side. So Reese
All right,
and Eddie take it
go
over.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead. But Eddie,
yeah,
another thing that I saw, we saw a lot of good individual races. You could actually see a lot of these athletes with the talent to individual races. But one of the things that did not work out, I noticed in a lot of the relays, some of the button passing wasn't necessarily the strongest. You actually saw somewhere athletes would have run out of the zone.
yeah,
Somewhere the
yeah.
athlete,
Because the that will be, a part of the coach's stuff in a strategy. For example,
mm,
let's suppose that you have a child who is very fast, but then you also want that you have that child who is very fast start lane one. I mean, start the relay, but then you have to pass after the second person. No, because the second person does not run fast enough. That person who start may be real strong. So the coach would probably put that child further up into the lane itself, into the zone. You know?
mm.
But then sometimes the child run over the zone, to get that less distance. So the first person who run will run more distance than the second one. And that could be one of the reasons why they run out of the lanes. They went over, over the stagger,
So
you know.
I saw some of that. Um, and it was kind of sad to see some of the athletes itself who actually put his back would have stepped out of the zone, had bad button passes, because when you saw them run individually in the 100 or the 400, they were actually pretty strong, But then you see the situation when it comes to the button pass and the 4x1 and the 4x4, and then you realize that the button passing wasn't as strong as you'd like it to have been.
Let me tell you something, Reese, is that it is very, very hard, when it comes to button passing.
Oh yeah.
You gotta understand it, because the coach would have actually put markers there for them, for them to actually, like, when the incoming athlete reach here, you move off. Some would say probably take, whatever word they want to use, but you're running forward in your lane. Some would actually stand up right there just to take it. Although the coach actually preached to them, you have to move off, you have to move off,
You have
you
to.
have to move off,
You have to.
So
I will check your phone. Look like Calvin sent your message.
practice,
Yeah, you're right.
practice,
You're right.
doing button passing, it takes a
Takes a lot.
it takes long time. You know,
It
you
takes a
gotta
lot. It
practice
takes a
all
lot.
the time. You have
And
to
then
get it
I
right.
think one of the issues too, which I could recall from way back in the day, you have this drill where you do where you have all four athletes line up and they do like a little jog. It's like one, two, three, a
Mm.
hand off, and then you drop it. But it's not actually going
Drop it
at
on it. Mm.
race speed, right? So because it's not going at race speed, yes, it looks good when you're doing the drill and you see them warm it up. But it's a difference between when you're doing at that drill and when you actually have to go now with somebody who running 13 or 12 or 11 behind you coming and you have to gauge when to step off, when to wait, you know what I mean? So it's difficult, but I think I would have liked to see cleaner button passes for the
Yeah,
meet.
because what some of these children don't understand is that you must watch the race.
Mm-hmm.
You must watch the race from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these children just the race start and all they do they just turn their head, where they're gonna run without seeing the person who's coming into them. And that does create a problem. So you find that coaches got to be preaching, preaching, preaching. Coaches shout, shout, just for them to grab that concept.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah.
even in big relays, man, I'm gonna tell you,
Oh,
even
no.
international
Oh, no,
relays,
you
man,
see it.
people mess
Oh,
up.
no, you see it. You see it.
Yeah,
You see
yeah,
it.
yeah. A lot
Mm.
of button dropping and then kind of stuff. I used to have to feel the button firm in my hand. They used to be like, "Bye." Hit that button in that person's hand. Make sure
You
they
know,
know they have it.
sometimes you hear them say take, and then, some people would try to take with the left hand and cross the button over to the right hand, or take with the right hand and push it over to the left hand, and just little things like that. But all in all, it was a good meet. It was a meet that I
Yeah.
liked. I was happy to watch it. We have Corbin.
Not yet. Not yet. I
Oh boy.
I don't know
Well,
if
I tell you. Well, it's what device you use, but what device you use.
I
I wonder if you
Technology,
if you
boy.
if you're home and you got internet, if you're home and you got internet, and you got the link, you can probably use your phone,
yeah,
so,
he'd
so
probably
we could
get
hear
to the
you.
phone easier. Like if he go with the phone
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now, he would get on. I I think I have a
yeah.
because I could see stuff coming in from him, meaning that
Uh-huh.
there is something being fed into the system, but it's not his mic. It's some other thing. I think shout out to Jiran Brown trying to help him out to get him started with the
But
situation.
but
But
with that being said, man, I love that race. I love the races. I'll tell you something too. Something I thought about way after. It'd have been good to see people like Corbin them do exhibition race.
Kevin stop run, boy.
Yeah, you get
Kevin stop
Corbin and
run.
you
Kevin
get
only talk running
Queeley who's a
now.
coach. You get Queeley who's a coach, and you get Keynes who's a coach, and all these guys, and let them do a little quick something, man.
Kevin only
No, no,
talk
no, Corbin,
running.
don't do that.
Eddie, I want to save some of this conversation, right? I want to save some of
Yeah,
this
I want
Uh-huh.
conversation
I want
for
Okay, okay,
Curvin.
okay.
But you know,
So,
one of the question I see pop up, and I don't know what Sylvester mean by, but Eddie need to talk from sports office standpoint and a train coach and start beat road. Sylvester, I don't know what he talking about. I know Sylvester is probably upset right now. Kervin saying he have
but
nothing to
I have no
prove.
idea myself.
Kervin saying has
no,
nothing to prove.
Corbin. That is true. This is not about proving anything. I think it's a bit of nostalgia. You give us that feeling, and I mean to go back and to see you on the track one more time. I don't know if you remember. You remember you had a year when Corbin. I think it would have been Corbin did a run against Bush, Robert Morton out over did a 200.
Yeah, no, I don't
Yeah, it
remember.
was a nice race.
What
It
happened?
was a fun race. You know what I mean? It was a fun. No, Corbin and they came around together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you remember a couple years back, Usain Bolt did a race with this guy from Canada when they were coming down to the finish line, and Usain Bolt was smiling at him. Corbin did something similar.
Kervin, come over a little bit.
He's
Okay, I will run an exhibition. If
if anyone in
Eddie,
Eddie,
come out, man.
Eddie.
You can't do that
the
to
most,
us.
the
You
most,
can't.
the most, the most I'm gonna run right now is 5 meters, and I know I'm gonna win that,
Us. Eddie, we know you're
and
You
I
go
know
in the
I'm gonna
5
win
meters.
that.
You can win the 5 meter.
Yeah, I'm gonna win a 5 meters.
Kevin say you can't win a 5 meter. Don't worry with it.
I got a quicker take out than them, man. Trust me.
So Eddie, you can give us a 30-meter race.
I could do better. I could give you a 60.
You could give us a 60.
Of course.
Yeah, but you know,
This no, Reese, don't switch the
You
conversation.
think about you think about my age? It's all about in the mind.
Reese, you can't switch the
How to
conversation.
beat those younger guys.
No,
Going on here.
no,
We
no,
might
we're not
see-
switching the
we
conversation
might
because
see Kervin versus Eddie in a 60-meter race over on the
Yeah.
middle track.
I mean, we deserve that. You know, it's been 2 years we had no track and field. We need to make up for our last time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. That's man. But all in all, it was a real good meet. I would have liked it to.
Eddie,
Boy Eddie,
Hey,
Eddie, you're not here.
boy Eddie. The man said he'll give you 20 meters head start.
20 meters in a 60-meter race head start.
Boy,
I tell you.
Eddie, like he will.
They say who is young. They say who is younger. Reese, I read. They say who is younger is greater.
Uh-huh.
But then we got tricks up his sleeve. We got tricks up his sleeve. We always hold back something from them.
I need to get Kervin and
Yeah, really, yeah.
I really need to get him in because
we need to take a call.
Kervin not even a
Sorry.
speak and he chat them hard.
But
Yeah.
He chat them hard.
Yes, man. But man, boy, it would be good to get this exhibition race, man. You know, see, get a little something.
And I know Kervin.
Wallace, we seeing you, boy. Wallace, we seeing you, but boy, still can't hear your voice at all, man.
Yeah, I know
You know.
Kervin.
You
Wait.
you know what would be good to see too? You know, you get.
Wait, Kervin said something. I just see his.
I just hear your voice.
Yeah, I just hear your
I
voice.
just hear something, but then he gone. It look like he gone again.
Gone again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gone again.
Kervin, pick up.
But you know,
pick
even
up
something
your
as
phone,
simple.
Let's go.
Even something as simple as somebody coming together and getting Jamal Hamilton and Trev Smith to run a little 50-meter race. You know, the two of them got better now.
I gonna tip. Hey, Reese, I gonna tip me hat to Jamie one time. I'm not going to win the bush. Trev can't beat Jamie nowhere, no how, not right now. I gonna tip me hat to Jamie right now. Jamie win the race. Jamie win the race, hands down.
Reese is a betting man, eh?
But we don't want to see who winning, or we just want to see the race. We just want to smile. You know what I mean?
Reese is a betting man.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something in the Eddie. That year when Jamie and Trev were going back and forth, you know, everything had looked good, you know. And then he had a dude come from St. Kitts up in the park. And at 200 meters, he ran against them with he had some sunglasses and he had. And we were on the top of the hill watching the race. You know, as the man come up to the top of the hill. In the middle of the race, he put on his sunglasses and still beat them, you know. Yeah. So, and you know the bad part about it, I up at the top of the hill with some sinkers, man. I betted against them, man. You know, as the man take all my money, I couldn't even buy a piece of chicken.
Boy, those are the days.
Those are the days, you know what I mean?
Those are the days.
And you know,
Hold on, we just get something.
and you know Reese
Start, we just get something
want
more common.
chicken, you know. You know Reese
Right?
want the chicken, so you know
Yeah,
Reese
not-
want it.
Yeah, man, but you know, it's good, man. Let's get a little bit of nostalgia going, you know. But we are not luck with COVID, but.
Let me
Hey,
yeah.
call Kervin on his phone.
Hey, call Corbin and have Corbin join the conversation. Chill, Mike, man.
You can let him join through my mic for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he figured that out.
Yeah,
Kervin,
we can call.
So you can call him WhatsApp.
you can call him on Facebook or one of these things and have him join us.
Okay.
You have a feedback here?
Okay. Okay. I hear that. I hear you got a feedback.
Where?
When I got feedback, I watch it on my laptop too.
No, you can be alright.
Okay, well, let's do it so then.
We can do it so until you get in.
Okay. I'm waiting on the thing to download.
Yeah, we.
That's cool.
Well, you could. No, yeah, you can't do that because you don't have headphones in. All right, we can work with what we have, and we can take it in stride.
Yeah, because me hear. Yeah, because me hear your voice.
What I'm gonna have to do is.
Yeah, guys, I've been hearing everything, I've been listening, I'm trying to make some signals. Jiran is trying to help me out with team view so he can, but the team view is really downloading very, very slow.
Yeah, we got the
I
feedback.
like to hear the feedback, so I don't know if it's affecting the program or not.
And at this point, I will take it. Yeah.
Kervin, you don't wanna join with your phone? You don't wanna click on your phone for now?
I tried my phone, but it keeps freezing. I don't know.
Oh.
I see you guys, but then it freezes one time.
Okay. The curse of technology. Kervin, we had some questions for you, and I know you had a long.
I'm downloading the wrong team view.
I don't think so. You think so? Oh, you finish? Oh yeah, we can get you in, man. Don't worry, we can get you in. So we have Kervin and the.
We said them are the technical man.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, eh? That's what I'm going to do, man. But
Kervin exit the call because he.
But one of the things too, right? One of the things so we speak about is the fact that we didn't have sports for some time, and then we had the high school sports. Let's do a little talk about these high school sports. What were your thoughts on the high school sports?
We had high school
Eddie?
Sports.
Well, yeah, Charlton, yeah, yeah, I been to the Charlton Secondary School sport, and I'm very disappointed. In terms of when we used to go to school, is that we had numbers. We had a lot of person running, man. And then seeing you just leave primary school and going to the high school, and you're not seeing them in in the races and so on. It's very, very disturbing. Because when you really think that a child would actually come up, leaving primary school and come up and choose a career path, whether it's athletics or whatever the case may be, it's good, but you're not seeing it. I saw a guy there. I'm gonna call his name Guyan Griffin. Guyan Griffin. When he was at St. Thomas's Primary School, everything for Guyan is cricket. And I just happened to see this person at Charlton Primary School, and they told me that he's in sixth form. And Guyan ran. Hey, and I think the man came second for both races that he ran. But he never give me he never do that in primary school. He never ran a race in primary school.
Oh wow.
But in terms of the numbers of athletes, man, just so you have the primary school have 9 athletes out there in those lanes. I was looking basically 8 because you got 4 houses in CSS.
Yeah.
So you were looking for 8 athletes out there in every, for every event.
That's how it used to be. Every house would submit two athletes to one. Especially the 4, the 2, and the 1. You would have those races where you have athletes going out to run.
But we're not getting nothing. We're not getting nothing like that. So, I don't know where the drop off is. between home and school, you know, in terms of communication and so. I don't know, but I know this much that I will say is that Showman Keynes and I think is Tasha, well, let me put it this way. I don't know how much coaches at CSS, but you need more coaches up there, to kind of work with these children and help them, so at least they could come out and do something and better themselves and make this school good.
Part of what I think it is a lot of people don't see it as a career path. I think that we don't have anyone that has set a trail per se that they could say, okay, I see what this person went, so I know I could gain this. You may look at circuits and say, okay, we had Kim Collins or whatever it is, but what have we really done in terms of for somebody else to say, hey, I go follow Kim path and this is what I could look forward to. And I think that's one of the issues too. They don't see a finish line.
But yeah, well, we don't really, well, let me use these set of guys here, which is Covid Neville, Arcadian Joe Willett, the Alexander Keynes, a girl named Jonisa Williams, those who just went to Kavifta.
Yeah.
Listen to the interview is that they want to reach to the Olympics, and watching these guys training all the time, you could see that they're going to do some serious ongoing training.
All right, so Kervin with us now.
You can hear me good?
Good night, Wallace.
Yes, man.
Oh, well, listen,
boy, me tell you.
Something I was not clicking properly, so.
No man,
see, I'm not computer savvy, yes, I give me a chance.
That's okay. As long as you're here.
Let me just tell Jaron I got you because he's still trying to help me out. So until I get you.
He can hear you. He follows.
Okay, Jaron, I got
you.
Yeah,
man, but
so Kervin, go ahead, Reese. Take it.
Kervin, welcome. Eddie, we're gonna pause a little bit. We're gonna get Kervin take on the meet, and then we'll all join in healthy discourse. Kervin, let's go over your overview of the meet. I have seen you post certain things on Facebook, social media about certain discrepancies that you have had with the meet, and of course, you being the only individual in here that has made it to the Olympics and has represented the country at that level, your word holds weight. So we'd like to hear from you a little.
Well, guys, let me say officially good night, even though I was making signs and signals in the early part of the meeting. Yeah, so, okay, I as I said before, if I didn't say it, but I'm saying it now, and we emphasizing and adding more to what I said. Competition-wise, the meet was at a high level, competition-wise. Like the children perform exceptionally well. I mean, little children, 6, 7 years old, bowing at the finish line like they know what they're doing. The level of competition was very high. The organizing was really, really off. I mean, I don't know if because they had a 2 years break or what, but the organizing part of it was off. You know, I stand when it comes to the points and the medals. I'm sticking to what I believe would work better, the medals. Okay, I know the situation, I've heard the discussion before. If we go to medals, we're going to have issue with the smaller schools getting trampled down, and then people who come 4th and 5th don't feel they're not contributing to the school or contributing to the win and all this type of stuff. Yeah, that might sound feasible, but let's look at it. Look at it this way. We call it the mini Olympics. It means that is the basically pinnacle of track and field where primary schools is concerned. So Olympics is the pinnacle of all sporting activity in the world. Inter-primary is the pinnacle of all the schools sports now coming as one. So now you're getting the as we call it, the cream of the crop. That's the phrase, right? The cream of the crop. Right? I'm saying if you're gonna have a meet like this where you have the cream of the crop, then we're looking for the highest level of competition and we're looking for the best outcome. Now, the point system works good for school sports. I have no problem with that. It works very well for school sports. I think it could be maintained in the school sport. But now we come to the inter-primary, the cream of the crop. We're looking for the best of the best, right? We can't deny the fact that inter-primary is competitive. It ain't gonna get back. I don't think it'll be like a the friendly thing that we want the children to have. But because guess what? Well, you know what? No, I'll retract. Because when you look at it, I see a lot of these children playing with one another from different schools, and they're not arguing and not cussing and things like the adults do. So the real problem is not the children. The real problem is the adults and the supporters. So the children they play. My daughter play with all the other children who she know from different schools. Like, let me just jump forward a little bit and come back. We went to the Charleston Secondary School. The same three girls who ran in the 150 and the 300, my daughter and two other girls, they found each other on high school sports. They're playing, coming in our tent, playing like the sisters. So you see, these children have a little knit. Okay, back to the point system. To my point, guys, I really think the medal system would work. The only way to find this out is we give it a try, right? There's no way we're supposed to be 2 weeks after inter-primary children are having the medals and the trophies in their hand. It really hurts me. And then one of the issue I have, which is a more personal thing, is that my daughter, my son, Daddy, when we get the medals, Daddy, when we get the trophy, that's like an everyday thing. People going.
Hold on, Kevin. Stick a pin right there. But I thought at the event they had the medal stand and they were giving out the medals throughout the meet. Wasn't that something that was occurring?
They had the medal stand. They had all the medals. They had all the trophies. But the mistake that was made, and I could have tell them that it can happen. And I know Eddie is here. Me Eddie like this, eh? So even if I say something that he disagree with me, he not gonna follow for that. I could have said from the beginning that gonna fail. Guess what? My thing is, if you have a race, you have judges, competent judges, I suppose, and an efficient photo finish. You've got first, second, third. They don't need to go nowhere. Right after the race, pull them aside. Bam, medal presentation. Done. Or the problem they had, if they do it in group, that's where the problem came. But I prefer, as soon as the race done, first, second, third, walk to the medal stand, present one time. Next race, first, second, third, because once you get in the medals, they walk back to the camp. They won't get lost because they have an official to escort them, a track steward to escort them to the medal stand and then to the camp. That done. You don't have to worry about it again. They come over, they give the teachers the medals, case closed. I think that was an issue, a big issue, because I was a presenter. I was a medal presenter. Because, I'm not with a school, but I'm a little attached to the school still. So I was with the school for most part of the meet. But because I'm no longer in the school directly, I was invited to be a medal presenter and an announcer for at least an hour on the meet. So that was one of the issues I have.
Well,
so you say stick up in. So
I disagree.
I don't know
with the medal system.
No, I am not going to lie to you.
Okay,
What you just said, Corbin, I actually agree with. You win your race, you go left, get a medal, take a picture, and go back. I agree.
Go back. Done.
I know that I agree with. I think that is one of the ways that you could get it going to a lot faster.
Luis?
Yeah,
let me comment on this one. The reason why the medal stand was upgraded in the athletes area is because years and years is that after a child finish run his or her race, is that the judges, they normally keep them down at the finishing line to receive their medals. And then you find that coaches are looking for that child to run his or her race, and that child is not back at the camp as yet. So that's one of the reasons why they move in medal presentation to the athletes camp, so they can receive their medal in the camp which is closer to the registration area. But apparently, I don't know what went wrong, but something went wrong, and those children did not get their medals, there. So that much I can say.
We need a ceremonial committee. We need somebody who is in charge of the three medal people, the gold medal, the silver medal, and the bronze medal. We now have three girls, one dressed in a gold top, one dressed in a bronze top, one dressed in a silver top. And you have your medal ceremony official. That person, and like I said, a track steward, that person is responsible. Soon as they get the race finished, escort them to the medal stand, escort them back to the camp. That's like a 10 tap. That's not even more than 10 minutes. That's not a more than 10 minutes.
That was done under the camp. That was done. The girls them were there, and the persons to give the medals, there was up under the tent.
But letting
that much I could tell you.
Camp, letting them go back to the camp, that's a disaster because they start running up and down, they start preparing for the next race. But if you from the finish line, straight across from the finish line to the medal presentation and then to the camp, done deal. So we ain't got to change that next year. We really got to change that next year. I think we have to, if everything go well, we got to change that next year.
Now, Kevin, one of the things we spoke about with Eddie, so we're gonna bring it your way and see what relays, right? How would you count the relays in terms of medal? Do you count the relays as one race, one medal, or do you count it as 4 medals? Because usually it's counted as 4 medals.
Ready for me to answer?
Yeah.
Here it is. If we're gonna count the goals by event, then it will be 1 medal. But if you're going to count the goals by goals, then it will be 4.
Okay,
right?
so
what are we counting? Are we counting goals by event or goals by medals? By medal count or by just event? Because like I said, if you count
usually goes by medal count. Usually goes by medal count, right? Not
so
event count. If it goes by medal count,
it will be 4 medals.
So here, like I told Eddie now, you had a situation with Charleston Primary would have won the 4x1s. That's 16 goals right there. You automatically.
Not this meet was just gone because they didn't win all the 4x1s.
But they won majority of the relays, right? Let's just put but then you put it in a place where
3 or 4. I think they won 3 or 4. They won 3 or 4. We won. I think we won 3 and came second in 1 or 2. 2. We came second in the. It was Charleston and Gingerland who dominated the relays. When they came second, we came first. I think Centum that 3 and 4 boys relay. They walked away with that like easy. But the Keto 2 boys we came second in the grades 5 and 6. We came second in the Keto 2 girls. So where they came first, we came second. Where we came first, they came second. Something like that. So Charleston was basically in the top for the relays, mostly.
But in a situation like that, then automatically, those schools who dominate the relays, the other schools now automatically kind of out of the meet by the end of the 4x1.
Not totally, because here's the thing. The point system has not been. This is my. I know. We all probably have different opinion and different. The point system has not really helped the smaller schools. Never in the past, in terms of especially. Well, I guess you could say, with the exception of EPPS, who have won the B division and have won a few of the A division schools like General and Primary and Charleston Primary and Ivor Walters, some years back. At that time, when they won that, Eddie would know that they had an exceptional team, guys like Kelly Roberts and Alexander Richards and all those children. So those children were, and I mean, all of the schools have it, but some of them were repeaters, and they had the most repeaters that year too. Eddie, correct me if I'm wrong, but they had the most repeaters, right? So they had the advantage, so it worked in their favor. So if you realize that the smaller schools always get squashed, whether we're going to continue the point system or the medal system, because like I say, it's the cream of the crop, so the best of the best, and it's just Unfortunate or fortunately, the best of the best normally comes out of St. General and Primary, Charleston Primary, St. Thomas's, and one or two out of Ivor Walters, right? So medal system, point system, it's gonna be the same for the small schools. But my thing is for the medal system is to eliminate all of this confusion with the points and the this and that and that, because we had the problem for the last 5, almost 8 years.
Okay.
So that is my take, that is my view, and that is my rationale behind the point system and the medal system. Not so much to squash the small school, but yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if Eddie wanna say something before I slide in, because you are the guest. So I just want to make sure, because I've been muted for a while.
Luis, I just remember when we were here, I said to Ira that Charleston already plays in all the position from 1 to 5.
Yeah.
And he said not 5th. So now Corvin is here. Because EPPS.
Yeah, no.
EPPS put them in 5th position.
No, I know we came 5th one time, eh? I know that. I just don't remember those days. All right, those days are days that I rather leave out of my memory. But I just want to counteract. I just even ask a question. You know what I mean, Kervin? We all know. I mean, there was a meeting Friday, and I don't know if you were able to talk about what's going on in the meeting, but Sylvester had asked a question about the meeting. So I don't know if you're able to talk about that. So we have to get to that. But right now we're talking about point system versus medal system. Right? Okay. You're saying that a lot of the controversy that we're seeing right now is due to the points. You don't want to tell us exactly what issues we are seeing? Is it a case that the wrong child get the fuss over the next, because then that means the wrong child can get the wrong medal? So you can still end up in the same problem, right? Or is it a case that the points were just not tallied correctly? I want to know, what is the real problem that we have in here? Is it a case that Kervin come first, but on paper, rather than giving him first, we gave him the points for second? Is it a case that Kervin came first?
Okay.
And we gave the person that came second the first instead of Kervin, because then the medal still can be messed up, if that is the problem. So I just want to hear what the real problem is.
The real problem for me, you said it a while ago, the real problem for me is not the child placement, because at the inter-primary, most, if not all, with the exception of mostly one race that was judged incorrectly. There was a child from Ivor Walters and EPPS that I was told who they gave wrong placing, right? So that wasn't an issue really, because they found it out because of colors and And as I said before, I'm putting this quickly. Sometimes the announcers seems to, in my opinion, influence the judges, because when they don't know, they say, "Oh, it look like EPPS. Oh, it look like Ivor Walters. Oh, it look like," because when you look at the colors, like a certain time of the day, and if you're colorblind, like you have Joyce Level Primary and VOJN have close colors, and the person would say it looks like VOJN when it's clearly Joyce Level Primary. Okay, back to my point. With the judgment of the place or the placement of the children, I think they were on point to me, because when I most of the races I call across when it's close, and I ask the finish line who came first, and when the person who I saw came first, they told me is that person came first, with the exception of just 2 races, which was the 4x1 3 and 4 girls. It would look a little iffy to me, and then I asked a question, and they said that it's the Charleston Primary who got that really.
Wait. Which one you talking about? Not this race.
The 3 and 4, yeah, that one. But you see, the problem there was the angle of the camera, so we can't judge from that.
Yeah,
I know better than
That was my thing.
Better.
Okay.
That was my thing.
I know
The
better.
camera angle was for a lot of people.
The camera angle will make the Joyce Niles Primary School person look like the infant.
Yeah.
The camera angle, right?
Yeah.
If the camera line up directly, you would see that the Charleston Primary School torso would have probably been in front, right?
Yeah.
But from the camera angle, you're gonna look at the Joyce Niles Primary School in front, And I observed it myself, and I realized it is the Charleston Primary School who got the first.
Okay. I'm glad you come and say that on the air, because it's still
I
it's
am,
still floating around.
yeah. Me expert at this thing. Me not really just let people influence me with just a picture,
Yeah.
right? I looked at it and I said, when I saw it first, I said, boy, I have the Joyce Naval Primary School like it came first. But then when I went back and I checked the images and so forth from a better view, I realized that the Charleston Primary School would have edged out by the torso, right? So I was making the point that the point system problem is not the placement of the children. The point system problem was a matter of tallying. I'll give you one example. I'm going to tell you here because it was a direct experience. When I went to the finish line area to get some information, a paper was handed to me with some points. And I'm going to call it the points. I'm going to tell you what happened.
Eddie must
I
be
took the
sleeping
paper
now.
and I was supposed
No, man, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
I was a broadcaster. And I was given some points to announce, but I couldn't announce them because just before that I heard a different set of points. So I would have felt kind of stupid announcing these points, knowing that I had a different set of points. Later in the evening, I got another set of points, and then I was told to pass them on. I said, okay. By the time I reached where I was supposed to go to pass them on, the announcer, Rudy and those guys, gave another set of points. So I'm like, what is going on? So the problem to me is not the children placement. The problem is when the points leave the finish line, go to the next person who passing on the points and go to the person inside the room, it looked like something changed mysteriously or somebody calculation is off. And that is what we're having the problem now.
Well,
so I was made privy to that information because, and that's why I said this is where we're having the problem. Because if I give you 201, 210, 205 from the finish line, by the time you reach to the last person who's telling it, you got 203, 201, and 195. Then that is conflict because then you make the judges them the scorers, but the judges look incompetent.
Yeah.
Or
they make
the person who is doing the last tally, the final tally, somebody gonna be look incompetent and stupid. Maybe bad choice of word, but that's how it seems because that's what we're having the problem. And we had the problem. Okay, I don't know if you realize for good when the first set of schools was called out, people was like, no, it can't be that way. And then for about a good 2 to 3 hours, no points, nothing. And then
that is true.
When you hear this, it's like you went from down a bottom step to upper top one time. So everybody was like, what's going on? When we start getting points on paper now, and when we start getting points on paper, it was looking, no, this can't add up. It doesn't add up. And then here's the next situation, and I'm not talking because I'm hearing things. I went over to the finish line, to the first call where they placed the results, and I called the official and I said, what is this? You have 2 races, the same exact. Duplicate, well, not duplicate because duplicate means all of the same. It's under event number 14, boys. One set of results, placement, and one set of points. Then I look close to the right. Event number 14, boys, a different set of placement. So when I put on my jacket and my change up to give medals, the medal ceremony person who was in charge, which was Mrs. Lestrade, said they can't get to do nothing because these things keep coming, changing. The official who was under the call room took down the papers. I took a snapshot of it, took down the papers and said, boy, you're right, this thing is wrong, something is wrong. So the issue was not so much the placement of the children at the finish line, but the issue was something was happening between the scoring going on with the scorers. Either the photo finish is giving one thing and the manual score is giving another thing. So it just was going all over the place. So the person who was giving out medals couldn't give out no medals because that was one of the reasons. Right? But you see clearly who win first, second, and third. So my thing is give them medals out there. So that is one of the issues we're having. So the points thing was...
And then take them back after. What? Because that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a lot of take back of things and so on.
But the thing is, Ira, if you clearly hit him first,
Yeah.
If you clearly know who came first, second, or third, why would you want to take back a medal from a child
No,
or
because we
something?
not
No,
the same the
if it's a
same
description,
photo shoot system that you just said might be the problem is the same photo shoot system that we're relying on to tell us who come first, third, second or third. I want to welcome Mr. Shervan Green to the conversation as well. Shervan Green, of course, grew up in Nevis and is now a renowned coach in Monroe College and has been winning Athletic Coach of the Year for numerous years now. Chauvin has been vocal when it comes to the point system versus the medal system. So, Chauvin, I don't know if you want to add to the conversation or rebut what Kervin is saying, Eddie, who is, and Reese as well. Let's welcome Chauvin.
All right. Good
Good
evening,
night, guys.
gentlemen.
Night, Trevor.
Good evening. Good
Greetings.
evening.
How you doing? Wallace, how we doing over there, man? Well, everybody know that I know they have a slogan back home that says something and ready, but everybody know that I'm fully Orange Nation, eh? So I listened the conversation and I agree that with Calvin when it comes to the scoring system, where I could even remember back in 1996 when I ran my first ever inter-primary. I didn't even know how a medal looked to this day because for some reason there we didn't get our medals that year. In 1997, that's when me and Carlston, if you remember Reese, that we swept the 1500 meters,
1500.
first and second. We still didn't get our medals up until this day. Every minute we hear that the medal is coming there. So, I mean, this has been something that has been going on for a very, very long time. My objection to the point system is this. Now, we all know the international meets uses the medal count for information purposes. You know, even here in the colleges that we go up against, they use the point system. And one of the
They use a
idea
point
of
system
using
or the middle system?
points.
Okay.
And the reason why they use points versus medals is that when you do a medal count, it's like you will never hear something like who is the defending Olympic champion team.
Correct.
Like they don't have a champion. So
Yeah.
because we had a few of this in like the coaches conventions over here, and they kind of like draw the fine line and say, hey, for IAAF events and international events, let's go with the medal counts, and for track and field events such as in the college level or whatever, once it's a local meet, let's go with the points. Now, my only question is, the last show you guys had, it was made mention of the photo finish, and I've asked what type are we using, only because I know here I don't really know how this software system works, but I know they have something named Lance Timing Company, for example, what we use here. So as soon as the event is done, the points go up immediately. So if somebody finished first, second, straight down into eight, the points just automatically goes up on the scoreboard. So we who have like over 40 something schools here competing, we get to see, okay, Monroe College finished fifth in this one. They're currently in fifth place. Then when the second event goes off, it reads to the point. So let's say another college finish above us and we came fourth in this race, it automatically adds the fifth place point and the fourth place point. So right now we have a running total that we see. It seems as if, as COVID said, something would have had to happen from the finish line to when the points reach to the announcers.
yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Because for hours I keep asking, I message Reese a few times, you hear any update on the scores? I message people on the ground, what are the
You must
scores?
have messaged me too, you know.
And nothing was going on. So that's how I feel about the point system.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you mentioned, Chauvin, because I was explaining to Ira and Reese is that because you're at home, you're free to choose your point system, or medal count or whatever you want. But the international rule with IWF, once you're out there is medal counts. So I'm glad you come on and clear up that one as well. But it is a decision by whoever is organizing the sport, whatever they want to use points or medals.
All right.
Kervin want to get in.
Comment.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, Shogo made a very, very good point, and you heard me allude to that a while ago. I didn't say it exactly, but if the system is obsolete, then we're gonna have a problem, because you imagine, okay, you have a jumbo screen, you have all the whole network set up, well, supposed to be. As soon as the race is done, bam, first, second, third, Charleston Premier, whoever, gold medal, bronze, gold, silver, bronze, points, blah, 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 right? Like seconds later. So maybe the issue we're having then, and I'm not training from my gold medal things, my medals thing, but maybe the issue we're having is that the system we're using maybe is obsolete or is getting there. So it's not efficient enough to show the points, show the time, show everything one time. So we are having the issue. So then when you have a glitch, something mess up, then you have a ripple effect now. So everything just go crazy and you can't get it back properly. So maybe that's something.
Here's a question, right? Going based on what all you guys would have just said. Should we have the photo finish being the system that calculates the points, and we use the judges and officials for verification purposes only?
Okay, I can give this. I can tell you something. I think Eddie would have heard me say this before. I think when they moved to the Mondo track, they should have moved everything into electronic and different stuff. The reason being is that they say, oh, we could convert from this to that. But how you could convert a time from a grass track to a rubber track, we know the conversion of the electronic time to hand time. Hand time electronic time is 2.5. Yeah.
Hold on there, Corbin. I gotta tell you something. I said when they first opened the track that they should retire all records and start new records on that track. Everybody that has a record at the park, that's your record. It can't be broken because it's there. Because once you change running surfaces, everything changes.
I said it in a meeting and everybody disregarded what I said. I said you're gonna have problems if you're gonna go back to the same old system, and maybe this is why we're having the problem today. Because how you gonna convert me running on a bumpy grass track, running in an uneven situation, and then you put me on a nice level surface with rubber everything, and you're gonna use the same time? I'm saying this is what I said exactly. Archives the old time, put them in a folder somewhere. You could refer to them, down the line. But the first use that one on the track should have been bam, a new record. Not that you're trying to say the people who ran the thing before, no recognition to them. But the day you could say back then this was done, because, for example, let's use one example. How you could convert 12.38, a grade 6 child running 12.38 in Grove Park. Chevron, the girl Bartlett.
Wow.
Shamika. Right? How you could convert 12.38? How you could convert 12.38 on a grass track running down let's say a hill, but we never think that was a hill to me how we shape. And then you're gonna have it at a record 15, 16 years later, but you're going on a nice flat surface with wind gauge apparatus and all this. How do you convert that and still have it as a record? Somebody explain to me, because I am missing it.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that.
I can't answer.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Use everything fresh from the start. You might not even have the problem today, because the track fast, until I the track fast, me doesn't want no more about the track fast, because I know how to test it. You drop a little coin on the track and it bounce back at you. The track fast. So you're getting some really good times over there, but you're comparing these times to grass times, and then you use electronic time now, because electronic timing is, if you want a 12.5 hand time, on a grass track, that would convert to like about a 13 flat, maybe 13-1 on the rubber track with electronic timing. So you can see him slower because the gun trigger off the timing device one time with the eye and the hand and the thumb finger, with the eye and the thumb finger and the ears. I mean, Eddie, is a fact. None of us could start the clock exactly when the gun go because you got to listen to the sound, or you got to. I was saying, you got to see the smoke.
You got to wait to the smoke.
Wait, by the time you see the smoke and the message about a 500 of a second done, man.
Well, you know, not only that, because remember now, those trucks, those tents in the grass truck could have been any park, and we had the Bath Hotel right over there, and that sound used to bounce back fast.
Echo, yeah, exactly.
So sometimes
I don't understand.
Sometimes, I remember one time we were in the park, and it sounded like a false start because the gun went twice, but the gun didn't go twice. The sound bounced back.
You know, went twice. It was an echo.
The gun bounced back very quickly. You know,
so
these
are
things that we need to keep in mind.
It might not be too late. We should convert to fully electronic for going forward next year. I guess the medal thing and the point thing would be
We have the system.
Yeah, let me tell you something, right?
Yeah.
Let me say something plain and straight up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the word they. They could find money to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on things that not needed. They could buy a photo finish system in that.
Yeah.
I'm sure China and some company would.
What you said, Chauvin?
Hey, the funny thing about that, right? Calvin is right, you know, because I promise you, they get the Lance timer system out and they don't need manual scoring because the Lance timer provides the live scores and it provides the online results. Because sometimes I know they used to have online results that you could see it for yourself. They provide all the service.
Yeah.
Like it's a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
But Chauvin, I would still say that we still need the physical score. We still need the actual people, right? But that's just for verification purpose.
Yeah.
Right?
You're
Back up.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're supposed to have them. You're supposed. You go to big international meets. You have people on the bench still at the finish line bench. So it's important to have them, right? So we're not saying disregard all of that. I'm saying get a system that is efficient that will do this issue.
And the system would be Lancer timing, like Lancer timing. That system that everybody uses, even the international meets.
We need some consulting.
Eddie need to use his influence. Because you're looking at some influence now. We need a system. By the way, let me tell you all something. Me and talk the things then. This thing I go from single speeds back and forth. You know. Anything could happen in between them.
The same system.
Stop.
The system is a synced system.
Chauvin here, I was begging. The last time we here, I said give Chauvin my number so that he and I could talk. So because I'm begging. Now he's on the show.
Guess what? I'm the official time I'm the official starter in Nevis. Well, one of the official starters. Every time I use that starting apparatus, there's a lot of story that's going on with that thing there. Now, I'm saying this because I'm trying to influence the idea of getting a new system and Nevis get the own one. Because Mr. Virgo is very good with this thing. He's good at it.
Big up Virgo.
But I see his frustration at times because the system don't work exactly how we want it. So the pressure should not be on the man. The man know his system, but the system is maybe almost obsolete.
Okay. So we're saying, Eddie, you could blank your camera right now, because we're saying we got international standard track with no international standard timing and photo finish system.
Yeah, we got international standard track. we got a new brand Lamborghini with a Volkswagen Volkswagen is the name one. With a what kind of engine in there? Where we going? A crank engine. We got a crank.
Is the Lexus emblem? Is the Altiza with the Lexus emblem?
You know, so
Yeah,
guys,
but
I'm
Okay.
very,
Okay.
I'm very passionate when it comes to track and field, and I'm very passionate when it comes to the development of track and field because it's still affecting our children when we have these kind of small little setbacks that seem small but big. It's affecting our children because people arguing and say we're not going to get the medals, you know, and every minute there's some
For sure, my
issue.
guy.
So
and
he's there, but he's there.
Okay.
and,
So we need
and you know what?
we got to get this thing.
You know what it is to Coven, and I'll be honest with you, from a child's point of view, they look forward to that. They don't look forward to nothing else, you know? They look
Exactly.
forward to getting that medal. That's all they look forward to. You know, they only want that medal. You know, the school winning and everything. Okay, all that happened afterward. They really only want the medal.
No. I used to look forward to winning,
Yeah,
championship.
they look forward. What I agree with Luis. They look forward to the winning, but they mostly look forward to getting that thing on the neck.
Yeah.
Because remember they going home in
Yeah,
the
that is
house
true.
with
That
that.
is true.
Class
They
champion
going home in the house with that.
valedictorian and thing,
And I mean, and I will tell you what is even without if they ain't getting that, you can't get them to perform.
No,
You
they
can't
like
get them to perform
once
because they mind on that.
Okay.
they,
Okay,
And,
fellas,
they,
let's take an
hold on
intermission
there.
real quick. Because I was sent a particular race by Jiran Brown, and I want to bring it on screen. And Reese, if you have something that you want to say real quickly, go ahead. But I want to bring this
Go.
on. I want to bring this on the race because Jiran said he wanted us to take a look at this one. He said it's event 47 girls 100 meter race.
Okay.
I don't know what the situation is with it, but
I
Jiran,
know what it is.
Bring
you
it
know
up,
what it
bring it
is?
up, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up.
I'll bring it up.
And Oxford, St. Thomas is 9. Gone up.
Record set by Maritza Williams. 13 points.
13-10 at grade 4
This is it.
on grass. And they're off. Lydia, who is it? Where is it?
Seen
Where is it? Lane 2.
Elizabeth Primary,
Elizabeth Pemberton.
followed by JLPS.
Elizabeth
She's
Pemberton.
overtaken.
Oh.
So it's JLPS, Elizabeth Pemberton Primary, and there was a public reality coming to a third place.
Okay, Elizabeth Pemberton, that's Ray Shanika Chapman.
Okay.
Elizabeth Pemberton was Tinia Wills. Wills had the early runnings, Lydia Claxton, and then out came the long legs of Chapman. Here she is in lane 6, 154. But look out in lane 2, in the yellow. That's Wills leaning already. But Chapman is working those elbows. And she has the longest strides. She has the longest strides. Charlestown Primary is in the mix, but Wills is still in front. Here comes Chapman with a late surge. And then Ivor Walters follows. But it looks like it's Chapman, Joycelyn Liebert, Wills, and then Ivor Walters. That would be Lemaya Charles. So we got good camera work, good
Let's come back on screen.
good editing work by the producers, and we were able to sort them out.
Maybe you could tell me.
So we look on the
what it
board.
is. Here's the results.
Girls 100 meters. I'll go to the boys. Okay,
Oh,
you ready for the boys? You ready for the boys?
Okay, it's about to
Guys, so you guys see what happened, right?
What?
You saw what happened? You don't see what had the EPPS student? That's the
at the bottom.
unless I'm
Last?
No,
Did you say
no,
yes?
you're correct. You're correct. You're correct. They had VOJ and they had
EPPS student
they had
at the
VOJ
bottom,
and
and she
winning the race.
actually came right, and where the person wasn't there at all.
Yeah. And then the young lady who would have run for Gingerland, they had a second.
So
Yeah.
that is not a placement problem?
But remember that camera was just a little bit behind the finish line. In front of the finish line.
And that is what I kept
So-
saying, right, Calvin? I said that the
If you're
placement
gonna
of
have
the
an official
camera.
camera, you have to put the camera in line with the finish line. You can't have the official camera that is live streaming all around the world.
Yeah.
Because somebody texted me the person texts from overseas and the message was forwarded to me. Say go and query that race because it looks like JLPS will have come first.
No.
So I sent the coach, the official coach, because I was not the official coach and I didn't want to be in any problem. So I sent him and he went and queried the race, and it in fact seemed like the Charleston person would have won. The same wheel I'm talking about. So
Okay,
in
the
this
relay.
race now,
Yeah.
where is the EPPS person? Where is the EPPS person? At the bottom. But she actually looked like she came first. Look, from my point of view.
Wait, let's bring it up one more time because I was fighting with everything else. So I want to get some
Okay.
of this stuff out of the way, right? But isn't that a placement problem?
Yeah. Well, in this case, it was.
Okay. It's a placement problem.
In this case, it was a placement problem from my point of view.
Charlestown Primary is in the mix, but Wills is still in front. Here comes Chapman with a late surge, and then Ivor Walters follows, but it looks like it's Chapman, Joycelyn Linewood, Wills, and then Ivor Walters. That would be Lemaya Charles. So we got good camera work, good editing work by the producers, and we were able to sort them out.
Yeah, that camera.
Right here.
Yeah, I see
So
right
you have
there, right there. You see my EPPS?
Yeah.
Keep that on the screen.
It's on
Keep it,
screen,
don't
yeah.
take it off.
EPPS
Right.
is to the bottom when they came first.
Yeah.
But with VOJN was even nowhere in the race, and VOJN is up top of there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's purple.
Yeah, the VOJN, the blue, 1486.
No, that look purple.
VOJ in the blue, the way to the top.
No, VOJN is the blue. JLPS
No,
is
the
just
one.
on there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The problem is the
Yeah,
VOJ
the-
color is a
EPPS and
purple.
VOJ.
That blue too close to purple and that purple too close to pink for
Right, but the yellow outstanding. So what the yellow doing at the bottom?
I have no idea. That's a placement problem. So we would still have problems with the medal because guess what happened now, eh? That VOJ child would be getting a gold medal.
Yeah, but
No
hold
reason.
on, no era.
Yeah.
No.
What you mean? We got to get-
Yeah, I can't fool with that. For the naked eye,
On
you
the-
could see that
on
the
the-
Indian athlete wasn't in the running. You cannot tell me that you will still give that individual that medal because I was show up. No. And that's why you still need officials to be there for verification purposes.
So-
It's no you to give that person that medal.
So this wasn't rectified on the spot? That's what you guys trying to tell me?
Well,
That
based
wasn't-
on what I heard, that well, we got the second. JLPS got the second actually. But you see what happened again, Ira. Remember the announcer, or not the announcer, the broadcaster, and the live stream was saying looks like JLPS, but
Yeah.
he could not really, he shouldn't have make a statement such as that because
Okay.
remember he's looking at a camera that is off of the finish line and not on the finish line.
I mentioned that earlier in the conversation. I said I think that was
That's why I always say that
irresponsible
the
of them.
announcers should not be talking about who comes first, second, and
First.
third if it's close.
Yeah.
Right,
Right,
because
so-
That is true. That is true.
because I'm going to say this. The year when Charleston Primary, and I think it was St. Thomas's Primary, there was a time that, or I think it was Gingerland, I can't remember which school, but Charleston
Gingerland.
was out front, that they were out in front. Then I think the other school would have won mostly of the 100 meters then. And the lead shrink, and you hear the commentator saying, oh, well, this look like it's JLPS winning the inter-primary. Then when the scores come back now, and I think the year was when Charleston won by 1, and then when they retaliate was a tie, then they win by 1.
Oh
So
yeah, I remember the year.
it's kind of like, yes, we know the particular school won the most hundreds that year to narrow down the gap, and they kind of did it again
A curving
to where
man.
they did it that year. That this year after the 400, they already calling the meet saying Charleston already win. So I'm saying, okay, if you could call the meet and say they already win, why can't you call me the scores? And this was after the 800, you know.
Hold on. So Alvin, and he's the coach, right? Alvin, I will it. The problem
Adelvin,
was
Adelvin.
the photo fin. Oh yeah, Adalvin. Sorry. The photo finish The photo finish given wrong placement, which brings back to the point. It would be the same problem if, was medal count and it was a placement problem throughout the meet, because we discussed this in the meeting after. I don't know if there is more, and as he spoke about the meeting after, Kervin, I don't know if you were involved in that meeting on Friday.
No, I would not be. Remember, I'm not in the system anymore. So,
gosh, man, I just invite the wrong set of people in the conversation.
Yeah, because exactly.
No, you don't invite the wrong set of people. We just that COVID is not in the system anymore. And I did not go to the meeting. You know what I mean? I did not go to the meeting because there was a discussion between the coaches and Vogue them why that meeting was called.
Yeah.
You know, so they had to end up and go to sort out certain things. You know, but
I that was a joke, late moment. You know, I'm happy that you guys are with us tonight, right? Kervin and Eddie and even Shove and so. But you know, back to it. I know we just switched gears.
So
we had other things going on. Yeah.
Let me say this. Okay. Because I'm not going to really retract from the medal and the thing. Well, let me say this. Based on what we are discussing and based on what we have seen, is it safe then to say that the issue with what's happening right now is the system, the system that we're using? Is it safe to say so? Because that's what I want to say.
The system that we're using could be a problem.
Yeah,
well, that could be a big problem.
The system we're using is causing a problem.
Yeah.
And not only the system, there's a communication breakdown between call room 1, call room 2, photo finish, and so forth. So and the judge and the finish line.
Yeah.
There's a system. So what I'm saying, Eddie, I want to say it now. There was too many officials. That was a dead weight. There was too many officials.
Well, Wallace, you know my policy to that. You know my policy to that. I say I just want at least 6 times or 6 judges. Me don't need no more.
Too much official.
Me don't need no more.
The finish line had I'm not exaggerating, but a bunch of people who is dead. I mean, Eddie, let me tell you something, right? You know where we stand when it comes to banana and grape bunch put together.
Okay.
You know you know where I stand when it comes to losing the people who are directly involved in track and field. I don't have no problem with the older heads, them who are accustomed to come around, Eddie. I don't have a problem with that. But guys, we're gonna have the same problem when you have people who colorblind and I get caught up so much in the race that when the race finish, you ask, you're tapping on the shoulder, who come first there? That's not supposed to happen. You're messing with people talent and people emotions, man.
Okay.
When you have people come asking me who come first,
even that race that just gone by there, that the one that we just watched.
Yeah.
If you listen to Patrick Martin, is that he's not trying to call all the schools a name, you know. Up to now, he didn't even call the St. Thomas's child name, you know. He mentioned all the time. He mentioned all the time. Charlestown is in the mix. You know, and that is the problem with that virus.
Yeah.
You know, you have people go there to judge or to time, or even the announcers. You know, they're not calling the other schools their name.
They just
call one school. I'm not against the school, you know.
Yeah.
They just call one school because that same child even came 5th.
Yeah.
That Charleston child came 5th.
Yeah.
So how she could be in the mix?
Well, 5th.
Being in the mix, you gotta be 1, 2, 3.
5th is a point.
Yeah.
5th is a point.
Yeah. We need to start out this thing for next year, guys. We really need to start this thing for next year.
Well, hopefully the meeting.
No, when I say we, I meant like. Well, let me rephrase it. That thing need to be started out before next year because
I don't see why you wouldn't be involved and Eddie wouldn't be involved.
No, I would be involved. Okay. I would be involved.
So you should say
I would be involved. Just that this year I was still a little attached to the school and things. So it was I told them that I can't just bust off like that. But I said give me till next year that I could be more directly involved in the planning and everything and so forth. When I say planning, I mean, with the sport and thing, because I like track and field, I mean, but we can't have this thing going forward. We can't have the same problem. If we're going to go back to the point system, it got to start out.
Yeah. And you're going
got to start out.
Too, so.
No, this is not purple. You colorblind too?
No, well, I could see a little
Look so,
piece. I could
look
see a
so.
little piece.
No, it's not purple, man. It's not purple. It's a dark navy
Oh,
blue
okay,
kind of
okay,
thing.
okay. Now that you bring it
Yeah,
down, I could see it. Yeah, okay.
yeah, but it's not purple.
No, but you make a good point. I think that is something that we're
Yeah,
gonna have to look into, and then we should be wrapping up now, eh? So I would just want to gather some final recommendations from Eddie, Kervin. I don't even know if Shervan is still there, but Shervan as well, Reese and myself. We're gonna start with Eddie. Eddie, what are your final
Yeah,
recommendations to make a better meat? Give us.
well, there's some stuff in place that we got to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
I would not say it here now, but could always come back on the show after we discuss it,
Mm-hmm.
and put it in place and have everything in writing,
Mm-hmm.
and so at least you guys will know about it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. And Sharon, before I go down, so remember I beg you for that photo finish. So
Mm-hmm.
you make sure
All
you
right,
work on that thing for me as you just mentioned.
Shervan, get a
You, you, you,
unicorn,
you, you,
man.
you just continue to work on it.
Tell
so this is what
non-profit.
I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the research in on it. I'm going to get the estimates on them. I'm going to reach out to both you and Kervin. I mean, I just want to put this out there because Kervin knows very well that for years me and him have been trying, and now happy that to have Eddie on board. We have been trying to come up with a system that would benefit everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kervin and Eddie, you could talk in twos, and Kervin would give you the details on that. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is something that we have been planning for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Mm-hmm.
can't say too much.
Okay.
I'm going to let Kervin deal with it when he see you in person.
Well,
Okay, cool.
what I can say, and Eddie, you could blank your camera again, but it's an
Nah,
election
man.
year. So if it's anything
Eh?
if you want any request, is no, you need to make the request because it's an election year. So that's all I can say. It is an
Reset
election
that, he
year.
said no politics.
No. But
Reset that, he said no politics.
It's not
Why?
politics.
and the
I'm just
politics.
saying it is an election year. So
Yes, you.
now is the time to make the request because now when the promises are being made. You know what I mean? Kervin.
That is true. That
Alright.
is true.
We have a cover.
I'm gonna be very, very quick. We're wrapping up. But like I say, we need to get the medal thing sorted out in terms of giving the medals them out as soon as the race is finished. The system need to change so we don't have that problem where you have EPPS down at the last 6 when they actually came first. I didn't mention it earlier, but one of the problem I was having the warm up track and the Alice area, too much spectators was getting in. So I guess we need to have a total barricade off kind of system where the athletes could focus on the races. Too much athletes going out getting hot dog, chicken, come back with soda and that kind of thing. That need to be sorted out. The issue of the points and the medal is not fully sorted out tonight, so I guess we're gonna still continue to discuss it. And
Yeah.
we just want the best. Whether we go back to points and medals, it got to be the best way for the children's sport. And them are the one who do all the hard work. And I really, really, really want to see this meet get better and the athletes them awarded for the effort. They can't get the kind of award publicly because NCAA rules and be getting monetary stuff and so publicly like that. So it could create a problem when they go to college and so forth. So we're not encouraging that. We give them some other ways and means to keep them encouraged. Right? But I mean, let me say thanks for having me on the show. I really, really when I get a chance to talk about track and field, I could go all night. But thanks for having me on the show, and I love the fact that we were able to respect each other's opinion and have a discussion and a dialogue and so forth. So it was important for me. But if you see in the background giving me support, so you can't see her, but she's right next to me giving me some support.
Good evening.
So,
Good evening.
Good evening to your wife and big up to her too, because I know she's your support system. You mentioned
All right,
it
all
in
right.
the conversation.
Hey, I must say this before I go, right? I'm not going to be very biased, right?
Oh, yeah.
The only races I support outside of the Orange Nation is when I see the last name Wallace and when I see the last name Hamilton. Because That's where you go with blood thicker than water. I have to go that direction. So whenever I see those last names in the rating, I don't say much because I already know what the results was going to be.
My child would have to
So
come last.
Well, big up to my
so
daughter
good
who come
job.
victory.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
And
congratulations.
yeah.
my
I mean, she
nephew,
ran very well,
Victor. Yeah, the
Wow,
little 7 years
and
old.
you know
yep,
if you come
Newton.
Victor,
I mean,
Victrix.
yeah,
She came
dude. Let me
Victrix
tell
when
you,
I born.
but your nephew became
right?
Oh, my
the
nephew, Kaimani. That's KJ. That's,
one that break the
KJ
record of
Kamali
the
Newton.
800.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
He's
what
the
I mean.
younger one.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I
He
could
came
tell you this much, right, Irvin? My entire team was watching the meet because I live stream it on the board, and Kemani is very well coached, and I could see it because he runs the way how you would want a college runner to run. When you go out away from the pack and you establish yourself not to give up the inner lane, he does all of that. He forces the other runner to run on the outside of him.
Run around him. That's
And
true.
something that's something it's hard to coach, but I gotta commend you because I know you are one who's behind the scene of that. I could see the execution of how the race was executed. I don't even have to talk about your daughter because I already saw when the start of the gun, I already see when she jumped out. I already know what was going to happen. So I mean that was good right there. And I mean again, anything you guys need help with, I'm gonna look out for the photo finish information. Anything in terms of logistics, any items that y'all need, y'all know how to contact me, and we definitely will be in touch.
All
Both
right,
you and Eddie.
All right.
All
Sounds good.
right.
Sounds good.
Kervin, we still waiting on them name the park after you, the truck, the Mondo truck, but
Yeah.
you know that
Yeah. You know that
kind of
go.
you know after maybe they might
You
eat
know that
Blackett,
go.
I don't know, but
No.
I think it's you
Blackett.
should get
Blackett.
it.
No, Blackett never won in his life. No disrespect to Blackett, but he never won in his life. A footballer,
It's
you know.
football, he was.
Really,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's football.
All right. Errol, what's your thoughts?
My thought is we need to
Yeah.
stick with the point system for one, but it's recommendation time. We based on what I've heard from Kervin and Eddie, I think they need to reevaluate the officials and maybe the amount of officials. You know, they're saying too many hands spoil the pot. Also, you know, I I wanted a shorter intermission. We spoke about the athletes going down to late evening running and that kind of stuff. Um, do I have anything
Oh,
else? I
oh,
think I'm gonna have to wait and see.
okay.
You know,
So I want to get it. Um, my first issue was at the beginning of the meet. The 300, the 400. I think would have been the 60 meters and the 1500. I think those were the first set of races. It's gap between the races were too long, and that then pushed everything further back. I think we needed to get those races going quicker. Those children, we may look at it as whatever it is, and the parents want to come out and lame and things, but they're still children. There's a certain thing that they need to be home. We have to be honest. This is, yes, you want to go out and you want to learn, but it's a children's meet. There's no one that is there that is older, maybe older than the age of 13 that's participating. If the event is for the children, these children need to be home by a certain time. They're also running in the hot sun. You can't keep in the hot sun all day. At some point, we have to realize that, hey, this is what needs to happen. The timing system, I think, if the timing system is upgraded, where we could actually have live results. If we get live results quicker, we don't have to rely on officials giving us hand times, hand points. I could look at the screen and see it. And I think if we're going to go the right way and we're going to do it the correct way, we need to upgrade all the way. This thing about giving a piece of paper and telling a man, hey, run that over there. Them days gone.
Yeah,
We need to get out of that. Also, I think with the medal counting, I am not against it. because as we say, it's the mini Olympics, right? We should give it a try. Even if we do a meet outside in the frame and give it a try to see how it works. Let's try it. Don't knock it until you try it. Give it the opportunity and let's see if it actually could work.
So you're gonna have a
You know,
winner, Reese? You're gonna have a winner?
huh?
You're gonna have a winner and a trophy and a championship? Because
Well,
the Olympics
the winner
don't have
will,
any of that, eh?
yeah, but the winner, even if you want to have a winner, the winner will be the gold medal count.
Well then
You need the points for the individual races. Like
the
Charles class champion and Victor and Victor.
You know, so because everything else we could tweak. You could work on things to get it tweaked to be correct. And last and finally, we need to retire them times from the growth pack. Them times from growth pack, them times from enterprise way back and then grass shop. We need to get rid of them.
One more
We
thing,
have
guys.
to.
No. I'm not a part of the records
Siobhan,
committee.
mute your show. If you're watching it on Facebook.
Wait, hold on. Let me. Y'all can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing.
So one thing about the point with
Still having a feedback.
all right, will we go now?
Yeah.
Just go ahead before Siobhan.
Okay, so what the issue is, and I'm a part of the record committee for our organization up here, the NJCAA. Corvin is right. We could refer to the old grass track performances as all-time performances, and you could have it there to where that performance would never go, but it would always be the all-time performance. The reason why we have records here for a flat track, an oversized track, on the 300 track, over 300, because indoor track and field, the different sizes of the track matters. For outdoors, it's the same thing. So you have to have different records for different tracks. So one record might stay there forever because it's a great all-time performance. That way the person name still there. For example, if it's Corbin Wallace in the 100, Isha 200, then it is still there listed as an all-time performance.
Okay.
Listen, you know what I feel we should do, and this is just me thinking outside the box. Everyone that has a record from Grove Park, next year they should bring them together at the Premier and officially retire their record. Say, listen, we thank you for your service. Your record will stand. Your record will stand. We will not act like we do not respect your accomplishments, but we have to move away from it. We have to.
Got to.
We have to.
Got to, man. You're killing the system, man. We can't be living in dinosaur age. Guys, I just wanted to say to one thing, Reese, is that we need to cut out this ceremony before the meet too. I have it a day before something, but the ceremony before the meet is killing the children them too, man. That's the next thing again.
It's long. It's a long thing.
It's long. It's too long. But
I also something else to comment. I don't know if it's still being done, but this thing where we used to do this March thing, where the school come out and March. No, you have the school by the camp. Let the school say by the camp, you introduce the school, and by the camp they say, hey, okay, this is the school.
March pass.
Charleston Primary, all the orange. Okay, we see it. JLPS, all the purple, we see it. Not this thing about having people walking around in the hot sun and them stupidness. No. Them times gone.
They still do that?
Yeah, they still do the march pass. But all in all, I want not to change we have to because Wallace you would have known one or two records broke not the Monday track. You know, you'll probably have to look for those and keep those and then as we say retire the rest. You know, the grass track records, just retire those. Because look at here right now with the 300. Whoever won the 300 there for the great K2. Hey, that we got down as a record for next year.
You got a record.
On your record.
So
yeah,
that's a record.
Yeah, so
I hope the system
And the
will
150
accept
as well, yeah.
them 2 extra points, you know.
No, not for the first time.
Okay.
No, when you set a record, you don't get the points. When you break a record, you get the points.
When you break the record, okay.
You get the points, yeah.
All right. All right. Well, gentlemen, we're gonna be wrapping it up. Thank you guys for being here. Corbin, I hear your wife in the background giving you a lot of pointers. And so tell her good evening and thank you as well. Listen, everybody need backup, Everybody need backup, so I'm not against it. So Corbin, I know you came a little late because you had prior engagements, and with that being said, that is not a problem. You were still here, so we say thank you. Eddie,
welcome.
Yes,
boy, thank you. Thank you as well, man. Shovan, my brother, thank you for joining the discourse. Giving us the international perspective. Thank you, and hopefully next year we could be able to work it out.
Well, then I mean, I'll be able to text Ira and tell Ira, well, what is what with and give him the final scores, so even if I'm not on the show, probably Monday, you could discuss, I'll be able to tell you who is the victor, the victrix, who is class champion from different schools, so that this thing could be on the show, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, so good.
Announced that. I think Kervin was trying to say something as well.
No, I was asking Luis, my wife was asking if you're from Overbat.
Oh, no.
No, I originally from races in Gingerland.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
She was thinking that might have been a classmate.
No.
I don't have to say much more. I don't have to say much more. I just say the same thing. I'm just gonna feed off of Reese and say thank you. Kervin, I know I reach out to you and you tell me you're gonna be here. Eddie, I know you are gonna be here, and I appreciate you stopping by and talking to us and talking to the people. And unfortunately, we don't have the results, and we were hoping for that, but we still had the knowledge of Kervin.
Guyana elections.
But with that, it's been real, and we're out.
Thanks for supporting and advertising him Eddie's barbecue.
Oh, how
I'm out.
I'm sorry. And Kervin, you have to shout out your gym as well.
Yeah.
You guys have the thing spinning.
Yeah.
We need Calvin to send us his logo so we could add it to the show.
Yeah, spin it.
Well, I'll send you a message.
All right.
Yeah, do that.
Cool.
Right, big up, fellas. Big up, man. Good night.
No, we out.
Good night. We out.
We on the corner, man. We on the corner, man. We on the corner, man. With that real talk. Real talk.
Lotus blossom, don't cry. Without any sun. Lotus blossom, don't cry. Without any sun. Lotus blossom, don't cry. Without any sun. Lotus blossom, don't cry.
Real talk.